Hello and welcome to this video where we'll use Taipy application, and then I will use that Taipy dashboard and deploy it. So we'll deploy it into Azure Web Apps using Docker to containerize it and creating an image, and then the image will be sent up to ACR, Azure Container Registry, and Azure Web App will take the image from Azure Container Registry and then run the web page, so run the Docker container. This will be quite interesting, and if you're interested in how to build this dashboard and you haven't seen how to build it, then you should look into my previous videos where I show how to build it. But in this video, I'll just take it as it is, just show it to you, and then go through the different steps to deploy it. So here I am in Visual Studio Code. So you may be familiar with this code. So I have the Taipy code, I have my virtual environment, and just run it to see how it looks like. Python main.py. I run this one, and this is how it looks like. You can see here is the Taipy dashboard. You see the dashboard here, and you can see the data and the dashboard. We can filter it a little bit. So it's just a simple dashboard that looks like this. So let's move on to deploying it. Let's close down this, Control C. And now I will start with Dockerizing it. So to Dockerize it, we create a Docker file here. And then we will type in this code to Dockerize it. So we need to type from Python. I will choose 3.12-slim. And then I will do work dir. So work directory is the directory inside of my Docker container. And I'll choose app. And then I will do copy. So from source to destination, from source, I will pick dot. So everything here. And then to destination, I will pick dot as well. So using dot, we will send in everything from this folder into the working directory, which is /app. But we have several things that we don't want to send in. I don't want to send in this egg info is for the setup. I don't want to send in explorations. I don't want to send in .venv, etc., .git. So there's a lot of things I don't want to send in. And for that, let's do like this. .git ignore. So this is what should be ignored. So we don't send those things in. And I'll just copy and paste it, as you don't need me to type it out. So this is not git ignore, sorry. And that's just common habit that I have. Docker ignore, it's called. So here we don't send in .ven, we don't send in the build, we don't send in dist, etc. We don't send in this egg info, etc. So a lot of different things we don't send in. We don't send in explorations.git. Okay, save this one. So this makes sure that we only send in the things that we want to send in into our Docker container, or that we will use for our building our Docker image, which we can use to spin up Docker containers afterwards. So to do this, we continue here, and then I'll do run pip install no cache dir -r requirements.txt. Thank you, tab copilot. That's totally correct. And I want to expose a port. The port I want to expose is 8080. Okay, to make sure that it's correct, let's go into our main. We have port 8080 here, and we have this host 0.0.0.0.0. Okay, so this is the setup, or in the main, and we go into Dockerify. This is the port that will be exposed from our Docker container. Okay, so let's continue here. We'll run a command, and the command that we'll run is Python, not app.py. That is totally wrong. Main.py. And then let's do the server or --server.port 8080 server host 000. Yes. On server host, not server host, server address. Like this. Okay, so now we can Dockerize this. So to Dockerize this, make sure that you have your Docker desktop opened. And when you have it, then we can do like this. Docker, I'll just do Docker image and Docker build -t for the tag. And then I'll choose the name for this one. I will call it Taipy demo deploy. Taipy demo or Taipy demo. Yeah, deploy. That's good. Okay, and it will be latest by default. So I'll build this image. Let's see, Docker build X. Okay, I forgot the dot. So what we need to do is, so Docker build -t Taipy demo deploy dot. Okay. Run pip install -requirement. You're right, I don't have a requirements.txt. So let's fix that. uv pip breeze requirements.txt. Okay, and the requirements.txt, there's something special here. As I have a setup.py, we have something called this one. You can see YH dashboard because I specified that it should be called YH dashboard. You can see here, name YH dashboard, but it's at my absolute path, and that is not correct. So I will remove that one and just have a dot here. Because when we are installing it, we do uv pip install, and then we do -e, which is editable, and we do dot, right, to install based on the setup.py. So since we don't need to have, since we're sending this into the Docker container, and we don't need it having editable, then we just use the dot here and see if this works. So I will Docker build this one, and let's see. So now it's installing all the packages based on this requirements.txt. Let's see if it works. Yes, this takes a little bit of time. Okay, I think it should be finished now. Soon. Actually, I should pause this video. Okay, it's done. Docker image ls, and you can see this image here, Taipy demo deploy. So Docker run Taipy demo deploy. And then we need to do ports mapping. So -p, let's see, 8080 colon 8080. Okay, it should actually be before this -p 8080 colon 8080. So we map the port from the container to the port outside into the host. So let's go into this one. And as you can see, it works. So this is from my container 8080/home, and then here you can see it works. Right. And this is the data. Okay, so this is, now we have containerized the app. So let's move on to Azure now. So since we have containerized the app, we can close this down first, Control-C. And we can do Docker container ls. Let's see what we have. We don't have that. We can do Docker container prune. Yes, and it cleans out that one. But if we do image ls, we can see that we have Taipy demo deploy. So now let's move on to Azure. And inside of Azure, what will we do? We will create this Azure Container Registry. We will then push this image into the Container Registry, and then we'll create a web app, and we will pick the image from the Container Registry. So that is the idea. So let's move on to Azure now. So here I am in Azure, and let's create a resource and search for Container Registry. And then we get this container registry. Let's create this one. Create container registry. And here we need to create a new resource scope if you don't have one already. So I'll call it Taipy deploy or Taipy YH dashboard. Okay. So here, enter the registry name. So I can call it type, let's see, Taipy or ACR, some numbers. For ACR for Azure Container Registry, North Europe, I'll choose the one that is closest to me, so Sweden Central. And this is the registry domain name. Fine, use available zones. No, we can choose here. Pricing plan, the basic, cheapest one. And then we will just review and create. So this one will create a Azure Container Registry. Yes, it takes a little bit of time for it to create. And then inside of home, resource groups, and I have here, let's see, refresh this one. And now you can see Taipy YH dashboard. So here, let's see. Yes, now our ACR comes in. So click on the ACR. Here we click on access keys. And for the access keys, let's create admin users. So here we have different things that we need. So one thing that is important now that you should know is that we go into Visual Studio Code. So now I will push my image to ACR. There's something very important that is only for ARM-based system. So my system is an M3 Mac. So since it's ARM-based and the web app inside of Azure is AMD 64, so it cannot run the image. I need to build it towards AMD 64. So I will show you two different ways of doing it. So one way is for the ARM-based Macs, and the other way is for Windows and for Intel-based Mac and for Linux, okay? So I'll show you how you would do it if you were not an ARM-based Mac. So you do like this, Docker login. This is the login server that you pick. Paste it in. And then you have the username, which is this registry name. Copy it. Paste it here. And then you have a password. So I will show this one, copy. And no worries, I will remove this later so you cannot use this. Paste it in. And then you have logged in. So you do Docker login into this Azure Container Registry. Okay, so now I'm logged in. So this you do if you're in both in ARM-based and AMD. You need to log in. And then if you're not in ARM-based, not in M1, M2, M3, M4, then you do this. Docker tag, the image name is Taipy demo deploy. And then you choose your login server. Let me choose the login server is this one. So you need to tag it first. The login server / the image name, Taipy -demo -deploy, and then :latest. So this is what you do. And now when you have tagged it, you do this Docker push. And you do Docker push, and you take the same here, :latest, paste this in. Let's see, does not exist, Taipy demo latest, right? Because it's called, let's see, demo deploy latest, like this. And now you have pushed up your Docker image to Azure Container Registry. Okay, so Then let's move on to here inside my Azure Container Registry. You can see under repositories, and you can see Taipy demo deploy. So this is what you should do normally if you don't have M1, M2, M3, M4. However, I have that, so I need to do another way. So what I do is I will delete this, but if you don't have this system, then don't delete this, so you can use it directly. But I will delete this one. Refresh. And I will refresh, and it should be gone soon. Let's see, delete. Cannot delete, yeah, because it's already deleted, I think. Let's see, repositories. Yes, it's gone, good. Okay, so what I will do is now for my newer Mac, let's do like this. So docker build x create dash use. So I will create a new buildx. Let's say dash use like this. Okay, yeah, it gave it a name because I didn't give it a name. So it's called friendly hawking. So if I do docker build x ls, then you can see I have one that is friendly hawking. And so now let's initialize this one. So docker build x inspect dash bootstrap. So now I have initiated it, docker build x ls. And now when I've initiated it, you can see that this friendly hawking, it has these platforms that it has, so AMD 64 and ARM 64. Okay, so why am I doing this? Because the thing is, my system is ARM 64, so if I create a Docker image, then this one will be based on ARM 64 manifest. And then since the virtual or the web app uses AMD 64, it doesn't work. So what I need to do is I need to build my image to AMD 64 so that it can be used in my Azure Web App. So that is the idea. So now when I've done this, let's continue now. Docker build x. Docker build x build dash dash platform. I choose which platforms I want to use, and I want to use Linux / AMD 64, Linux / ARM 64. So I'm building it towards both ARM and AMD. -t, so I tag it. And I need to tag it with the tag that I want. So I want to have this one, login server. Paste it in. / the name. Let's see, name, right. The name should be Taipy demo deploy, right? So that it's the same as the one you had. -- push dot, so that it picks everything here, and then it will use the docker ignore to ignore those folders and files we don't want. So I want to push this up to my ACR. So as you can see, it's building the image, and then it will push it up. So I'll pause the video and come back when it's done. So now it's finished, and it has been sent to Azure Container Registry by looking into here. So let's go into repositories, and now you can see it here again. Remember that I removed it before. So now let's go into check this out, and you can see that we have an image, and it's the tag latest. So let's move on to our home and then create a new resource. And now I'll choose Web App. And here I'll create a Web App. And for Web App, we'll choose a resource group that we already have, because resource group is the logical grouping, right? So we pick Taipy YH dashboard. Web app name, I'll call it Taipy dashboard. Or we can call it dashboard. Dashboard, yeah, it should be It's not available, right? App name. We should have a unique app name. So YH-dashboard. Yeah, that works. Okay, so YH dashboard, and I don't want to be in Canada, so I will choose Sweden Central. So this will be my domain name. So YH dashboard dash this name here, and Sweden Central 01.azurewebsite.net. Here, let's see, secure, you would choose container, Linux. All right, and the region, Sweden Central. And you should choose the one that is closest to you, of course. Let's see, this one works. Basic, yeah, we can go for that. I will remove this after the demo anyway, so it won't incur not much costs. So review and create. No, actually not. I don't want to review and create. I want to go back actually, previous. I want to be in container. And in container, choose Azure Container Registry. I choose my registry, ACR, admin credentials. And as we're in the same subscription, we can find, with the admin credentials, we can find here which image it is, right? So we have this image, Taipy demo deploy, tag latest, and port. We can actually leave it. Actually, we should do like this. The sidecar support, since we're not working with more containers, we have one. Can remove the sidecar support. So then you can see here, admin credentials, Taipy demo deploys, image, and then latest. That is it. Review and create. Create. And you can see how much the estimated price is. So it's like $13 per month. But if you close it down, it won't incur much costs. So it's deploying. And this is an ASP. This is App Service Plan. And it's here that it shows which type of tier that you have. So we have the basic tier. So inside of Web App, it looks like this. And the only thing you need to click on is here, default domain. So click on this one and you'll come into your Web App. It takes a little bit of time for it to spin up, but after it's done, you have it here. And now you can see it's working. And this is deployed. It's quite cool. So you filter it and that it works. And here's the data. Okay, and let's see. So here you can see this is the link. So we can copy the link. And we can go into a private browser to show you that it works as well. And you can see it works. Cool. So that is it. You have deployed your app. Yes, and in this video, you've seen me working with deploying a Taipy app into Azure Web Apps through using Docker. So we needed to containerize first. We containerized it and then sent it up into Azure Container Registry. And remember that since I'm using ARM base, I'm using M3 in my Mac. So I needed to use BuildX in order to build it towards the platform AMD64. However, if you're not using an ARM base, you just build it and then send it into Azure Container Registry. And then when you're creating the web app, you pick the container image to use to spin up the web application. So that is it. And now you have a deployed version of your app, and congratulations if it worked. And if you like this and you want to know more, just leave a comment below. And thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one. Bye.